What's going on, everybody? This is Over the Ropes. I'm Tyler.
I'm Cortland. What's going on, my dude?
What's up? We got your Smackdown review 5/9/25 from Dayton, Ohio. Spend much time in Ohio?
Thankfully, no.
No.
I don't think I've stepped foot in Ohio that I can think of. I think I've always driven around it.
I went once with a friend to visit some family. I went to Cleveland for a Browns game. I've gone to the Football Hall of Fame, which is obviously in Canton.
Yep.
But besides that, no, not much of an Ohio guy. So,
Football Hall of Fame's on the to-do list, but
it's pretty sweet, I will say. I wish I had more. It was kind of like a last-minute trip, so like I wish I had more money to really kind of like get into some shit, you know. But,
yep.
It was cool. So what did you think of SmackDown, man?
Solid. Not the most spectacular, but there's some good stuff. Mm-hmm. I like that we got right into some action. Those shows always hook me.
Yeah.
A couple. I'm a sucker for a good return. I feel like it paced really well. I feel like sometimes some of these shows can really just drag.
Yeah.
I feel like this this show paced out really, really well.
Uh-huh.
And it flew by, man. I was dog tired by the time I got home to do this, but it cruised.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid show overall. I will say, it's one of the bigger things right now, I feel like, that people are watching is how does Black look? How does Rusev look? And I feel like they both have been presented differently, but really solid overall. You know what I'm saying? So
yep.
I think that's a big thing. I mean, we got Backlash tonight because we're filming this Saturday morning. I feel like Backlash is interesting because I hear a lot of people dogging the shit out of it. And, like, obviously I don't think there's anything that's, like, super exciting. But I don't think it looks like it's a bad show either. So
the only thing that worries me is it looks like heel mania. There's a good chance heel walks out the winner of every match.
Dude,
and I think sometimes that can really sour the pot.
I saw the rundown from the show and instantly realized we had forgotten that Nia Jax and Jay was a number 1 contender match. I was so worried that was going to get put on Backlash. I was like, dude, oh no. But alright, let's just get into it. Let's
go.
Man. So, Damian Priest makes his way to the ring. Saxton asked him how he's feeling about his tag match and the Fatal 4-Way. He says he's excited. He's excited about the prospect of being a two-time US champ and getting his hands on McIntyre. LA Knight, approaches, and they're both worried about having each other's back. LA Knight pretty much just says, "Get out, stay out of my way," and then hit my music. So we go straight into the action. LA Knight, and Damian Priest versus Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Solid opener.
Yep.
Good way to start the show. Anytime that's not true. Anytime LA Knight or Jacob is on my screen, I'm happy as can be. Priest and LA Knight, they bicker about who's going to start the match because, of course, they do. Have multiple issues in this damn match.
They bicker the whole damn match,
But eventually LA Knight lands the BFT on Solo because, of course, Solo eats the pin. And LA Knight and Damian Priest win. After the match, Priest pushes LA Knight. Fatu jumps in, takes them both out. And as Fatu celebrates with the title, Drew comes out of nowhere and claymores the shit out of this dude.
Took his head off.
I'd be shocked if Drew wins this. I'd be shocked if Jacob doesn't win this. Let's put it that way. But at the same time, I do think there'd be something cool about Drew winning, since this is like the only title he needs to be a Grand Slam winner. So
I would be super jazzed if Drew won. I would be shocked if they took it off Jacob already, but Fatal 4 is kind of the perfect way and time to do that. But my God, I would love if Drew won. I really would.
Right.
That would be the heel victory I would want, you know?
Oh, yeah.
No, but enjoyed the match. I like the tension between the two. I think they did a good job of being aware of each other all match long, and yeah, they couldn't agree on anything.
Yep.
Man, I know we were kind of talking about, as we watched some of these matches on Raw, how every moment that has Julia in it, you know, we kind of saw that being Cora Jade potentially.
Right.
I think that about like Jacob a lot. I just like watch him and his rise to stardom, and I'm like, I wonder how much of this was supposed to be Solo originally.
It was 100%.
Solo is just completely in the cellar, man.
Which is so weird because he has such like, I think this word is overused, but he has so much aura in NXT. Like, you know, the street fighter, the like, I don't need to be in the bloodline to do my own thing. Like, you know, even when he first came in, he would have those little looks anytime Roman showed like even the slightest weakness of like,
Yep.
what are you doing, dude? And it's like as soon as he took over,
yeah, and he just eats pin after pin after pin.
and he's just not engaging. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him, but something did.
Yep. I worry about that a little in the future, but we'll see if they can turn it around. Maybe and hopefully the split with Jacob can add a little fuel to his fire. After this, a couple of good levity spots in this show. This probably being the first. R-Truth is out back with a "Let's Go Cena" sign. R-Truth, I don't think knows that John Cena turned heel.
No, I'd say he does not.
And him and Jimmy have a little moment, and Jimmy hits the no yeet.
Yep.
And then Saxon catches up with Drew out back. He asks why he attacked Jacob Fatu. Drew says it was to send a message, and then he kind of gripes about how both LA Knight and Priest don't deserve to be in this Fatal 4-Way. They both lost at Mania. He's already beat Priest.
I'd say he does.
LA's had it.
He does have a little bit of a point with Priest.
Oh, 100%. He beat Priest. LA lost. He should be in the back of the line. You know, he's like, Fatu might be all gas and no brakes, but at Backlash, he's going to run into a brick wall. Your new U.S. champ, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And then another great levity spot. Chelsea and the Secret Harvest are having like a funeral in Nick Aldis's office with the lights off. It was hilarious. He storms in, turn the lights on, and they're like, what are you doing? And Piper's like, do you have clearance to be in here? And he's like, it's my office. And he's with Zelina. And he's with Zelina. Chelsea's like, well, you wouldn't understand. You don't have any girlfriends. And Zelina's like, oh, really? Well, if that's the case, why don't you take me on in a tag match and see if I can find a partner? And this would lead to a moment that I am sure you were ecstatic about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I left my seat.
And then we get another video package. Aleister Black. Good little promo here. I was waiting for the Aleister Black promo. You know, there's been like packages of him, but not really him speaking.
Yeah.
And we finally get it. And it's cool because I feel like, you know, we're seeing this more in the Chips era where they kind of address like the elephant in the room or like rumors on Twitter, and he's like, you may be expecting me to talk in riddles or to pick up where I left off, but that part of me has been buried virtuistically and violently. He says what he found 6 feet deep was the truth. He says he came back to be the consequences of the company as they so desperately need. He said he's more than whispers and shadows. He's more than good versus evil. He's here to confront everyone mentally and physically. And then they kind of focused on that a lot when he fought Carmelo.
Yeah.
I hope they don't beat that horse too dead, but they definitely mentioned it a lot.
Yeah, they did a good job here because it's like, what? We got, like, one, two, three, like 4 promo spots. But none of them overstayed their welcome. And, like, they were kind of just being bam, 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 but they were all good. They were all entertaining. You weren't like, what the fuck are we doing here, you know? Which
Yeah, no, they were quick. They were good.
Yeah, nothing overstayed their welcome. I loved Black's promo. I mean, it's always been a great promo. Chelsea, the Secret Herbis is... I mean, Chelsea's really... You know, and it's no surprise. She's married to Matt Cardona, who kind of does the same thing, but she's somebody who just... She makes her moments. Even if she's just given the smallest... She's like, watch this.
No one makes more out of 10 seconds on TV than she does. No one.
Right. And again, Cardona's the same way. He always was. Then we get our second match. Chelsea Green, Piper Niven versus Zelina Vega and the greatest women's wrestler of all time, Alexa Bliss. No other woman has her own song from a band, alright? Alright, I popped so big, I looked like that dude in the fans. I was like,
yeah, I had no idea she was going to be there. I was genuinely surprised.
Of course, there was things online. Oh, Alexa might be there tonight, but yeah, I was like, hell yeah. And boy, for somebody who's out of action for so long, really only came back. She had the Rumble match, she had the Chamber match, I think maybe a qualifying match. It really hasn't even done much since January. No ring rust. No ring rust. Yeah.
No, she looked great.
Piper and Chelsea start the match, breaking up pins, tagging each other, you know, just being a solid tag team. Alexa finally gets the hot tag, takes it to Chelsea, hits the Twisted Bliss on Piper, or hits the Twisted Bliss, but Piper breaks it up. Alexa helps Zelina hit the Code Red, then Zelina finishes Piper off with a Meteora. Alexa reverses an Unpretty Her into the Sister Abigail for the DDT. Sister Abigail DDT for the win. Alexa Bliss and Zelina Vega win this match. And there were some good spots. Zelina especially has some solid moves.
Yep. I was a little worried about the size in this one, but it worked out fine because Lena and Alexa are both so small.
So small, yeah.
And, you know, Piper's one of the bigger girls in the division. And Chelsea's tall, man. Chelsea's really tall. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I love this match. I love the clash. I think they did a really good job keeping Alexa out of the match for the first half of it. Right. You get that hot tag. She cleaned house.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this was good.
Yeah. And then Rey Fenix runs into Santos Escobar backstage, setting him up. And then Escobar, you know, he's trying to talk to him, and essentially it's just a setup for Los Garzas to attack him, jump him. After they leave, Andrade runs in to check on him. Yep. Then we get Charlotte Flair's music. No reaction.
None.
Nothing. And then... Even when the boos came, wasn't a lot of them.
I know.
Hate Charlotte.
This is bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
And it doesn't
thought...
Go
ahead. Oh, yeah.
I was just going to say, and it doesn't help that it's very obvious how much it bothers her.
Yep. You know, sometimes I just really, really don't like someone, but I can suck it up and I can get through a segment and whatever. I don't remember the last time I was, like, thoroughly fed up with someone and it was really coming through on TV, because usually it's vice versa, you know? Right. Like, you know, there might be someone like Bret Hart who I was always just kind of like, right. But people loved him.
Right.
Or, like, Cena, you know, there were still people that loved him. But, like, people really, really, really don't like Charlotte. And at first I was kind of excited because I was like, cool, fuck you. I'm starting to get a little worried, but I also feel like maybe they're trying to kind of roll with the punches as we get through this promo, and we'll see, and we'll talk about it once you get through it.
Well,
but
I think one thing that will help her is if she starts doing other shit that doesn't have to do with the title. Because I think part of people's problem with Charlotte is she comes, wins the world title, ruins somebody's momentum, and then when she loses the title, she leaves until it's time for them to put the belt back on her.
Yep.
And I think people have a huge problem with that.
As they should.
So she says she's coming off the greatest women's match in WrestleMania history. Absolutely not.
Which is a terrible way to start the promo because none of it's true.
It wasn't even the best women's... It was the worst women's match at Mania. And it wasn't a bad match, but...
Agreed.
Right.
It was not her best match at Mania, period, and it wasn't the best match this year, not even close.
No, I would think it was the worst of the... What was there, 3?
So there was Naomi versus Jade. There was the triple threat, which was just miles and miles ahead.
Yeah, and then
there's... Yeah.
Yeah, no. Like, oh, and the tag one. I guess this was probably better. This was better than the tag match. But, yeah, no, the triple threat was so much better. Jade and I... Yeah. Well, maybe not. Maybe it was just a triple
threat. But it was not better than triple threat, which is the point.
Absolutely not. She says she took Tiffany to... She said, I was out for, a year or two, and took your champion to her limit. She says she's here to... she brings up a picture of Tiffany on the Titantron. She says, does this look like somebody who enjoyed their WrestleMania moment? Which, I will say, was a pretty good line. Like, alright, fair enough. Like, and she says she's here to announce her way back to the title. And then ask why the fans are so disrespectful because now the boos are starting to pick up.
Bad.
And she keeps getting booed, and she says, if you boo me again, I'm leaving. And they start booing, so she throws the mic down. She walks up the ramp, then Jade's music hits, and Jade just looks like a fucking star. I can't wait for Jade and Charlotte. Oh, that match is gonna bang. Because here's the thing, I'm not a Charlotte person, but I can respect her wrestling ability, and I can respect her star power. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Honestly, you know what they should do? They should go full in on this hatred, because this is going to make it much worse. They have that relationship with TNA. Have Charlotte start her own stable and bring in Tessa. Watch people really hate Charlotte then. Just go in.
Talking about a heat magnet, my God.
Right. I'd just go full blast with it. Have her, Tessa, and whoever else, like a 4-horsewoman sort of thing, and just have them start just destroying TNA and SmackDown. Like, oh yeah.
It's there. The option's there.
Yeah. So Jade comes in. They meet up. They kind of size each other up. Charlotte's, lets Jade go past. Jade gets in the ring. She says, hey, before you leave. She says, you already had your chance. Get to the back of the line.
I loved that.
Ooh, and Charlotte was heated.
I loved that.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the promo, I think we went to commercial break.
Yep.
Came back.
Yep.
And all this is out back, kind of walking through the hall with her, and he's like, what's your problem, man? You're like a veteran. You can't act like this. Walking out on your promo, and she's all whiny, and he's like, you need to be a leader rather than throw a temper tantrum when things don't go your way. And I'm like, they're making this really real.
Yeah.
One thing that kind of annoyed me, though, I feel like the crowd didn't play along with her as much as they expected. Like, I feel like when she said, if you keep booing me, I'll leave, I feel like they stopped booing as much, and I was just like, my God, they're making this so awkward.
Yeah, they're really turning on everything she does.
It's so bad. So she's like walking away from all this. She tries to get back in her ride. As soon as she opens the door, it slams shut. And this is not what I expected.
No.
It's Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, let's chat. And I am so nervous because if they pair Charlotte with Alexa, I'm going to be so pissed. Because I'm not trying to hate Alexa. But
I don't know.
we're not going to cheer for Charlotte just because she's with Alexa, so I have no clue what they're trying to do here.
Really, like, you and I have been watching wrestling 30 years, give or take.
Yep.
And I feel like we I've talked to a couple people who were like, dude, like you know what's gonna happen. Like you specifically, tell me what's gonna happen before it happens. Like how do you enjoy them? Like because just because I have a grasp on where the story's probably going or this and that, like I can still enjoy it. I have no earthly idea where the hell they're going with this. Like,
yep.
And it's because I didn't see that coming either. Like, are they gonna team them up? Are they trying to make Charlotte good? There's no way they're trying to make Alexa a bad guy with the crowd reaction she gets. Are they gonna feud?
I hope it's a feud.
I mean, then there was also rumors that like Alexa was gonna have something to do with Wyatt 6.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you doing here? Like, I'm actually I'm a little worried, but I'm also very intrigued.
Yeah, I'm really worried.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see in the next couple weeks what it leads to. But I like that. I like when I have that. Oh my god, I can't wait for this.
Right.
Just don't ruin Alexa, for the love of God.
No kidding. Go ahead and talk about this next match real quick.
Yeah. So after this, like we said, Jade came to the ring. So we get Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill, #1 contendership for Tiffany's belt. And right before the bell rings, Tiffany's music hits. She comes out ringside. She gets a front row seat for this one. Well, she sits at the announcer's desk or next to it, but you know what I mean. Man, Jade looks great in this match. Her power is uncanny and unreal. She hits a suplex, a Samoan drop, and a spine buster all with ease. And for the most part, I feel like Jade looked like she was in control of this match. But the tide turns when Naomi hits the ringside. Naomi attacks Tiffany, which eventually distracts Jade. And Jade kind of heads over towards the ropes, like she's about to get out of the ring. Nia takes advantage, hits her from behind, hits a few moves, and hits the Annihilator to steal this win.
Yep.
Pretty much, I was just saying, I feel like Jade was in control of most of the match until Naomi came out to run interference.
Yeah.
But Jade looked great, man. Her strength, unreal. But Nia gets the dub. And Nia is new #1 contender, so we're going to get Nia versus Tiffany again.
Which actually I'm happy about, because I feel like they never got their, like, real rematch. You know what I'm saying?
They kind of just wrote Nia off real quick and out of WrestleMania.
Yeah, that was
And then
weird.
I also feel like we haven't seen Candice LeRae in a while now.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Mildly surprised as we start to see some more people, and I had this thought a few times. I'm like, oh, so these guys survive cuts. These guys survive cuts. And, like, not that I would ever want Candice to get cut, but I'm like, Candice survived another.
I was worried. I ain't gonna lie. When she wasn't with
Me too.
Nia last week, I was like, oh no.
Yep.
But, because I love Candice LeRae. She's so good.
Yep.
I hope she's back. Maybe, they're thinking about putting the belt back on Nia, so maybe they're just waiting to hold Candice off, and then she comes to help Nia or something.
All right.
But, like, hopefully she's back on TV soon, because she's great. She's probably, a lot of people say Zelina is the most underrated woman on the roster, and she might be rated, underutilized. But I think it's Candice. Like,
I'll go Candice for sure on that one.
100%.
I don't want to say I don't get the Zelina thing, and I don't not like her, but I don't get it to the extent I see. I feel like people really, 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 really like Zelina, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I think Candice is more unappreciated for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just my take.
So then we got the Street Profits coming out to the ring, selling their injuries like professionals do. They say they put on the best TLC match of all time. I beg to differ, but it was a very good match. And the gorilla fears them.
That was a nice little line.
Fraxium interrupts. They say the gold would look good on them. Aldis hits the stage and says Fraxium hasn't proved themselves yet, but he's given them a shot tonight. And we get the Street Profits versus Fraxium, and what a hell of a match. I feel like I'm not as big of a fan as Fraxium as everyone else is, especially Nathan Frazier. Like, he's good. He doesn't connect with me the way he connects with other people. But this match was dynamite.
Really, really good.
Yeah, Fraxium's flying around like missiles. The Street Profits smartly just selling how beat up they are. Fraxium hits the Spanish Fly, Phoenix Splash combo, but Montez breaks it up. Montez misses the Frog Splash. Fraxium hit a missile drop kick leg sweep, which was cool as shit. And they get the pin. They get the win, the upset. And I am actually okay. It took me a minute because I was thinking about it, and I was like, do I hate this or do I like it? But since the Street Profits were selling TLC so much, I was like, this is the right choice.
I can live with it. And it's about time someone sells, like, from week to week.
Right.
Fucking Rey Mysterio got thrown off the top of the Titan Towers and was on Raw the next day. Shit like that drives me insane.
Black's been selling that eye for what, 5 years?
4 years, yeah.
Yep.
I really enjoyed this. It looks like we thought this might happen after they got called up. It looks like they've completely scrapped the idea of tension between the two of them. And I think that was probably going to be an NXT storyline.
Right.
But it looks like they've completely scrapped that.
For now, but once they initially get back there, they'll re-bring it up probably. You know.
Yeah. Potentially, hopefully. But they looked really good in this one. They had a name for that missile dropkick move. I missed it, and it was late. And I was like, I'm not going to rewind this. But they looked fantastic. I liked how Montez broke up that pin. He, ran up Frazier's back and then took out Axiom. I mean, all these guys can absolutely go.
Montez is ready to be just the breakout star of WWE.
I want a title on that, dude.
Oh, my God. So good.
Give me Jacob Fatu versus Montez right now. That match would be insane.
Yeah.
So after this one, we head out back. Tiffany is looking for Naomi, but instead she runs into Nia Jax, who says, maybe you should worry about me, the new #1 contender. Tiffany's like, that's fine. I'll make room for you at the loser's table next to Charlotte. And I'm just like, fuck yeah, Tiffany.
Oh, yeah.
Love the dig. This next promo I thought was stupid. I'm not going to lie. I hated this. Sometimes Miz can be a really good promo. I thought this was really bad.
He's just a dick. He's such a dick.
But basically he was like, oh, I lost because you were out of position, so you're going to learn from me this week when you're watching me be in position. I'm like, yeah, bro, Carmelo's going to be so worried about you and what you're doing. Like, shut up, dude. Miz drives me insane sometimes. I think sometimes he, talks in circles, kind of like Cody and Cena, and then he realizes he said something dumb. Dude, I hated this. Match was fine. Alistair does his thing. He raises Carmelo up like he's going to hit the Black Mass. Miz runs interference on the apron, which I'm guessing was the plan. Melo goes to attack Alistair from behind, but he ducks with great timing. Melo takes out Miz, and then Alistair rolls up Carmelo. And the Miz slides in immediately after this one.
Dude.
And Alistair dropped him just like that as soon as the match was over. And Alistair just walks out as cool as a cucumber. And this dude's timing. You want to talk about origin. This guy. I know I'm going to be the biggest Alistair Black fan in any room that I am in. But my lord. I'm excited for him to go toe-to-toe with some other people.
Yeah.
I hope we finish up with this Hayes and Miz versus Aleister Black thing. I hope this doesn't lead to a tag match now, but knowing how they book, I can kind of sort of see that. but I just want to watch this man run through this division.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see where they go with this next.
Yeah.
I think that he'll probably be in Money in the Bank, which is the next pay-per-view after Backlash, right? No, no, because Money in the Bank's July.
Well,
July.
They have like Saturday night's main event. I don't know. I feel like they said Money in the Bank was next.
No, because they need one in June.
Let's take a little gander. June 7th.
Oh, June.
It is.
June.
They moved it up this year.
June is Money in the Bank?
Yep, June 7th.
So yeah, so he'll probably be Money in the Bank.
Yeah, there's something going on like every couple weeks. So we have Saturday night's main event on the 24th in Tampa, and then they have Battleground that weekend. And then like 2 weeks after that is Money in the Bank and the Worlds Collide pay-per-view.
Right.
And then they have another Saturday night main event in July.
Right.
And then that's it for... Wow, so July is kind of bone dry. There's just that until SummerSlam, which is August 2nd and 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, so they're really packing them in right now.
Right. So I'm sure he'll be in Money in the Bank. And then I am assuming by the time Money in the Bank comes around, we know when the draft is. So...
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
So anyways, after the match, we go to the back. Solo is panicking about the numbers game. He's like, dude, we don't got anybody else. Everybody else is injured.
Everyone's hurt.
Everybody's hurt. And Jacob's like, dude, I ain't worried about it. I'm going to dog walk all three of them. And he's just in Solo's face, essentially. Like... He went hog wild on this promo. My man's was yelling. Yeah, and he was right in Solo's face, and you could tell Solo's worried, and he's like, nah, I ain't worried about it. Now, I don't know if you've seen the rumors, because I know how busy you've been, but there's rumors that, what's his name?
Hikuleo.
No, the one from Japan. Jeff Cobb is on the Smackdown roster, and he might be coming like very soon. So,
no way.
Again, those are the rumors. The rumors say he might be debuting as early as tonight. So,
wow.
Yeah.
You know what I could sort of see happen? I cannot imagine Jacob losing this match, but I also somehow feel like Solo's going to cost him.
When he loses, Solo will cost him.
Doesn't it seem too early?
It does.
I feel like one of these mid-card titles is going to change hands already. I know it's only been, 3 or 4 weeks since Mania?
Yeah.
But I feel like it's going to happen already.
Yeah, I mean, if it's anybody, it should be Dom, but... Again, if you go by the rumors, it looks like they're planning on putting the Lucha Brothers together, which I kind of hate, if I'm being honest, but I think that's a mistake, because Penta right now is just red hot. So after that, we get back another backstage segment where Fraxium runs into Motor City Machine Guns. They're praising them for coming in, putting their stamp, doing what they said they did. And they're like hyping up Fraxium, and DIY comes out of nowhere and smokes the shit out of all 4 of them. Just lays them out.
Ciampa's a psychopath.
Oh, dude. And Johnny says, you guys didn't do anything. You took advantage of 2 guys who were hurt from TLC. Who does that? It's just like, they're so good together. They're so good together. They're so good when they're feuding. Johnny Gargano is such a surprise to me because DIY at first didn't do much for me. But once they started feuding, and especially once they started doing the way, Johnny just shot up there for me. He's so damn good. Then we get the final match of the evening. Los Garzas versus Andrade and Rey Fenix. And what a physical ass match this was.
Yeah.
Dude.
When you see luchadors, sometimes you're like, this is going to be high flying. There's going to be a lot of acrobatics. This one was a brawl.
Yeah, I mean, Andrade's just, he's a beast. I love Andrade. Match is physical. Santos ends up distracting the ref while Berto has the pin for the win. And then Andrade hits the message and pins Berto. Dude, that spinning back elbow. He hits it, and he just... Oof. It feels like it hurts so bad.
He comes in so violently fast.
Violently is the right word for it. He looks like he takes their damn head off.
Yep.
After the match, Santos starts yelling at Berto, and then Berto gets pissed off, fires back, and then just stomps out of the ring. And Angel's
it's good.
I don't know what to do here.
Kind of caught in the middle.
Right.
It's about time he fired back, though. I was waiting for Berto to finally clap back at Santos.
Yeah.
These were another two guys I was very, very glad survived cuts. Because I'm a big Berto and Angel guy.
Much bigger than I am.
Yeah. I hope Berto... I'm talking about dogs walking someone. I hope Berto dog walks Santo.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think any Mexican wrestler is getting cut right now with AAA.
I think that probably saved some bacon. So either way, I'm happy they're still around.
So there's been a couple reports from online that's pretty much said, like, obviously the cuts happen every year, but one of the main reasons that Triple H has decided, and this makes sense, this is kind of what we talked about with the Raw review when we were talking about the cuts, which was, listen, we're not going to have 100 people on the roster. We're bringing people up. So we're releasing the people that are making a lot of money and not doing a lot. People that we just had nothing for, that we haven't had. You know what I'm saying? And again, some of them you and I disagreed with. Some of them we did agree with. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it's going to be. It's always going to be that way. But I think, especially with AAA right now, I don't think any Mexican wrestler is getting cut anytime soon. And I think Los Scars has already been confirmed for Triple Mania. So
really,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I know. I'm slightly considering maybe watching Triple Mania. We'll see what it ends up looking like. But
when did you say this?
I don't know when it is, honestly.
Gotcha.
But I'm just considering. We'll see what the lineup is, how much WWE influx there is. And then we'll go from there.
So here we are for the main event. Is it main event time?
It's main event time, baby.
We've got about 10 minutes left in the show. John Cena comes to the ring. He's got his new colors for the city. He's in a little gray and red. They run back the whole announcer. Gives him his own kind of special intro, and while he's doing it, someone throws a Michelob light bottle at her, or Michelob Ultra bottle at Cena, which was kind of funny. And Cena stops the guy from announcing him partway through, and he's like, "Really?" So Cena pretty much just spends 10 minutes cutting Randy Orton down. He talks about the history between them, their accolades. There's 31 world titles between the two of them. How tomorrow's going to be their last match, and how our childhood dies tomorrow. He says something along the lines of between the ages of, what does he say, 15 to... I don't know.
11 to 50.
11 to 55 or something, The point of it was, he's like, you're either a Cena guy or you're a Randy Orton guy, and this ends at Backlash. And then he goes to his punchline. He talks about hustle, loyalty, and respect, and he talks about how Randy has none of those things. He says Randy has no hustle. He's written his last name a whole career. He's surrounded himself by guys who could protect him and shield him. He's never had to show any accountability. And he's the greatest of all time at wasting his potential. He says Randy has no loyalty. He talks about how Randy has only been in WWE his whole career because he can't go anywhere else. And then he said something, I don't remember hearing this, but he said Randy called himself furniture. And Cena was like, yeah, he's a lazy boy.
Mm-hmm.
He says after 25 years of injuries, bad attitudes, and coasting all the way, Randy is the greatest of all time at doing the bare minimum.
Yep.
As far as respect, there's no respect or importance in the family name. He's like, no one knows who Bob Orton is. The only thing Bob Orton Jr.'s done was knock up Randy's mom.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about how he's ridden Cena's coattails his whole career. You want to talk about the legend killer? Tomorrow, the only legend he's going to kill is himself. And he's going to be like his 2006 drug test, a failure. And I was like, oof. Oof, friend. John's getting a little too real with us.
Yep.
And then after this, someone slides in, goes for an RKO. I don't know about you, but right away I was like, this guy's half the size of Randy. But they had the track shoot, they had the athletic shoes, they had tattoos on this guy, they had a Randy hoodie. Can't hit the RKO, Cena hits the AA, and I'm just like, well, the real Randy's gonna come in, and sure shit, the crowd, has that slow burn again. The real Randy comes in, and drops Cena with the RKO. Randy grabs the belt, holds it up, gives it a kiss.
Yep.
And that is how SmackDown goes off the air. I felt like it was weird that they didn't address that someone slid in before Randy actually came in.
Before.
But yeah,
what a promo from Cena. He's so weird right now because he's like, you get promos like this, you get a couple of the ones with him and Cody right there at the end, and you're like, damn, bullseye. But then you get his first couple promos, or you get the Mania match, and you're like, that sucked. So he's so one side to the other, You don't remember the furniture line?
I don't.
So what was that? They're face to face. So it was probably the first SmackDown after Orton RKO'd him. Randy said, I'm furniture, you're just a visitor, I'm going to be here long after you're gone. Something like that. Cena's calling him lazy, talking about his bad attitude, failed drug test, talking about how you're either a Cena guy or a Randy guy, which is hilarious because you were always anti-Cena. I've never been anti-Cena.
I'm an Orton guy.
I've never been.
He was right. I was always an Orton guy.
But I was always a Randy Orton guy. Right. So, I'm like, you know what? You're right. And even though I've never been anti-Cena, he's no Cody, I would say somebody, not me, was turning on Cody during WrestleMania, was talking a lot of shit about Cody. And that won't be the case tonight because Randy is my boy. So, how
long do you think Cody's out? Because the one rumor I did see on the internet this week was that Cody was back tonight, and I'm like, why? I think they should keep him off for longer.
I think for himself, he should take a little bit of a break because Cody's been going hard. But it's hard because I feel like you think Cody should come back and get that rematch, but Cody, I think, should be the one to take the belt off him.
Yeah, I think they need to wait.
Right. So to me, I'm like, let Cody come back and get in a feud or two that isn't for the title. Like Cena's refusing to give him a rematch or something. And because if Cody just comes back, takes the belt straight back, and he was just on vacation the whole time, people might turn on him. Start to turn on him a little bit. And you don't and unless that's the goal, you don't want that to happen. So let him come back, have a feud or two against, I don't know, fucking whoever, Miz, somebody, and let him kind of work his way back up to the title match.
Yep.
And then that way people feel like he's just not doing the Cena thing and being handed it, and the Charlotte thing. And being handed everything. So that's it, man. That is your SmackDown review. Solid show. I mean, nothing of very big importance happened. I mean, this is going to end up being like a 48-minute video. We usually go about an hour because there's usually more meat to talk about. Where, like, I feel like this is more of like, it was a good show, but nothing of like consequences happened, You could miss this show and not really miss anything. So,
little go home show. We got some Battleground tonight, baby.
Hell yeah, we got some Battleground tonight.
No. Backlash.
Backlash.
That's my bad. That's my bad.
Backlash tonight. We'll have your review tomorrow morning or tomorrow at some point. And then we'll right back to the grind next week, man.
Yes,
so we will see everybody tomorrow for your Backlash review. Till then, enjoy your wrestling. Give us a like, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell. Give us those comments. And we will talk to everybody tomorrow. Peace.